while when we got barbecue that time, the guy said, "Do you want another round?" And he meant drinks. And Robin goes, "Yeah, another round of ribs." And he was like, "What?" It's like, "Yeah, give us." And
I'm not the first person who ever asked that man for a second round of ribs.
No, but it's not that. It's the fact that you were so rib focused that you immediately interpreted his obvious hint for drinks. You thought he was coming in to be like, "You guys want a round of ribs?" They don't do that.
We were in a smoked meat palace. You think I'm not going to order a second round of ribs? You're insane.
Okay, well, you threw up on the train. So I think that kind of nullifies.
I feel like there's nothing really wrong with that.
Okay. Hello, welcome to On the Apps. I'm Julian, a comic in New York City.
And I am Robin Richardson, an attorney in New York City, and this is our podcast.
Okay, so I haven't seen you all weekend. I was away.
Yeah, did you have fun?
I had a lot of fun.
Nice.
It was good. Went classic weekend that you hate, where we played drinking games and drank a bunch of beer, which I guess is not your vibe.
No, not my vibe at all.
I remember when we went to the first weekend where I first said I love you. Mm-hmm. It's very embarrassing. Won't do it again. We had that. There was a big house that they rented, and we played all these drinking games. And I came back from 5-1 in Flip Cup in this big tournament we had, and I was like so pumped up. And you were sitting in the corner, and you could not have been more disinterested. And I was like, she's gonna love this. And you were like, I really. I hate this.
I was gonna love that.
I was the hero. I came back. I won it for the team. Okay.
So funny. You're telling me the story, and I don't. I now that you say it, I'm like, oh yeah, there were some drinking games there, but that completely not even a part of my memory of that place.
No, well, a big part of mine. Okay, we had the trophy over there from my bachelor party where we had a drinking game tournament. Okay, so it's weird we're married. I think that's. I always thought I'd marry someone who had my love of.
I had a weekend that you also wouldn't like. It was just like lounging around. I guess I went to the park and I did the art in the park with the kids, and then had a fancy dinner, and then went home.
Who did you go to dinner with?
With my coworker / my work
Oh, the
wife
new one
and
who just
husband.
moved nearby.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's great. Okay, well, I'm glad you had your weekend, and I had mine, and we won't trade them.
No.
Okay, we won't trade them ever. I wrote a few things down. I think moving forward in these, I think what I'm going to try and do is make some games and fun specific things we can like call each other out on. I did not fully do that, so I just had some topics I thought were interesting.
Calling me out on something, that doesn't sound possible. I don't know.
You don't make mistakes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I look forward to answering some of these questions.
Making a mistake.
Yeah, I don't recall. You were looking at this trend called the Man of the Year trend.
Yes. So I came across this as any millennial would on Instagram, but it's actually a TikTok trend, and they're using. It's basically a bunch of women, and it's Gen Z women. Are using this the Man of the Year song by Lorde. And it just said, "Let's hear it for the Man of the Year." And then it's just that they cut to some horrible thing that they recorded an ex doing, and
so it is an attack.
It's an attack.
Innocent men.
Not quite innocent men.
No, they're bad.
And I was expecting, just like regular kind of. I was expecting more normal abuse. I guess, like I was expecting it to be abusive, but I wasn't expecting like the level of like controlling weirdness that these women are experiencing.
Well, give me some examples, because these people listening haven't heard.
Okay, so one, and this is one that you heard, is this guy's on the phone with her, and he's like, "Well, yes or no, and she's like,
that was
yeah.
what he's like, "Are you going to commit to this relationship?" or something like that.
Yes or no, and she was like, "Yeah," and he was like, "No, yes or no. You say yes or no," and she's like, "Yeah," and he's like, "No. That's not what I said. I told you to say yes or no." And I just like the amount of energy that it takes to like have that fight. It like that's psychotic that you need to control somebody to that level. I just and like childish and strange, and I don't understand. Like I was expecting name calling, I guess, or like you're not allowed to leave the house, or.
So those things are on the table for me to do to you?
No, absolutely not. They're not.
We call each other names.
I mean, yes, we do. But names like cuck, and poop eater and stuff like that.
Poop eater, how dare you?
We accuse each other of eating poops. Like, not. I mean, I am just aware of these kinds of relationships. I have never been in one. Like, I think the most controlling relationship I've ever been in was just one where like he would constantly kind of pick fights and like throw fits, and that didn't last that long. It lasted too long, but I was also at a time where I was like, okay, Robin, you got to grow up. You need to learn how to compromise because I had been so like flippant about all my past relationships, and I was like, you're 26 now, it's time for you to be real serious, which is stupid. That's absolutely ridiculous. But at the time, it made sense to me. So that relationship lasted a lot longer than it would have. But I mean, the truth, the very ugly truth about any sort of abusive relationship is that like it does take two people. Like one person does have to stay. And I mean, I think the reason why I haven't really experienced any of those things is just that I would just instantly leave. Like the instant somebody was like yes or no, and then I realized that they were not accepting yeah as a yes, I would just be like, this is conversation's over. Like, I'm out of here. I'll come get my stuff, or I'll send somebody to come get my. Like, it doesn't. To me, it makes no sense to be in a relationship like that because it just is a pain in the ass.
No, it's weird because it's obviously there are cases where people are like so abused that they can't leave, and people have kids and they have no monetary incentive.
Sure.
But assuming it's not one of those, it is very, very strange. And you talk to people. Dane Cook used to have a joke about that. It's like women will use any excuse to stay in a relationship. It's like, oh, my CDs are in his car, and it's like, what? And I always find it funny as well because often cheating is the one thing where people will leave over cheating. That's like the line in the sand. But then there's so many other things that are so much worse, which are like that sort of abuse and those things. But to your point, I've seen so many couples I've known, especially when I was younger, where they both, and obviously abuse is more obvious when you see the guy doing it, but you'll see like they're just like a toxic couple, and the guy's just yelling.
They're just saying horrible things to each other.
And they'll fight at the party, and then you'll see the guy yelling at the girl, then later on the girl's yelling at the guy, and then everyone on all sides is like, you need to break up, and then they get back together, and you're just like a hostage as your friendship group, but just like, okay, I guess we can't even invite both of them because there's going to be some instance. And then whenever you talk to the guy, or I do, and you might be talking to the girl, the guy's like, oh, that fucking bitch, and she this and this, and I'm like, yeah.
I also like. I mean, I'm always the villain on this podcast, but I kind of want to push back on the idea that like there are people who like nobody started out trapped in a relationship. There are certainly people who are trapped in bad relationships, and even when people are not trapped, I don't think anybody should be blamed for being abused. But the abuse doesn't, like, it starts a lot earlier than you having kids, and it starts a lot earlier than you being financially dependent on somebody. It's not like a perfectly happy relationship for 10 years and then suddenly out of the blue. No, and of course there's like the abuse happens in a cycle. So somebody is awful to you, and then they're very, very kind to you, and there's like a honeymoon period, and that it's not just a cycle. It's like a coil where like it ramps up. So like the abuse gets worse, and the cycle of niceness gets shorter. But it also will ramp up, and I mean, it's not a perfect line straight up, but I just like... So it's like the boiling frog thing, sort of. Yeah, but that's not, I mean, but apparently that's not a real thing. The boiling frog? The boiling frog isn't even a real thing. Yeah, but I found out that we're not even boiling frogs. Yeah, but a frog will just be like, yeah, it's getting pretty hot in here. I guess I'll just leave. Yeah, just to explain, I Googled... where boiling frog comes from as the expression of like growing fascism. Like you put a frog in water, and if it's boiling, it'll jump out. If it's tepid, and then you heat it up, if slowly, it'll stay in there until it gets cooked alive. And I just believe that, like an idiot. We all believe that. I was like, frogs are so dumb. Meanwhile, the frog's like, you don't have good media literacy. you can't determine friggin' apocryphal little tales. Yeah, frogs are like these fucking idiots, just like sliding into fascism, like fucking like humans in fascism. Yeah, they have a saying. It's like, and that one's actually true. It's like, you can slowly make a human society fascist, and they'll just keep going. They'll just do it forever, and they won't overthrow their leaders at all. They'll just accept it. I like the idea that one of these days there'll be some reason I need to kill a frog. I'm like, I know exactly how to do it. I don't boil it, actually. That's the wrong thing. Yeah, we're going to start it slow. And then the frog jumps out. I'm like, oh, God. Oh, shit. This is the smartest frog. To your point, calling up cycles, all those things. I think maybe it just, they just, again, it is the boiling frog thing. And they just get used to it, and suddenly it's really bad. And you're like, you just have to leave. And people they're like, they're not even thinking, I guess. No, I think what it is that however they grew up, they have the expectation that relationships will be bad, or for whatever reason they think that this is fine for them. They have accepted that level of abuse for them, and once you've accepted that level of abuse, it's very easy to accept a little bit worse abuse, and it's so that's how it happens. But it's just. To me, it's crazy that people accept any level for any, for not any level, because, but the tolerance is just so high for men and for women of just being treated like shit by the person who's supposed to be your partner. Yeah. Makes no sense. But there's also like jokes about it in popular culture, which is just like,
oh, the old wife was yelling at me, or this, and you know how Steve gets, and it's like, oh, that's not really okay. Like the classic, it's like, oh, I look, you see it in like TV shows, like a hot waitress walks past and the guy looks at it and the woman just like smacks his head. It's like, that's
like,
funny. It's funny because he.
It's funny because he's looking at her in front of his wife, and it's funny because she's hitting him in public. And
I write it down. It's going to be a sketch. No. But
Fresh
I will
idea.
say, very selfishly, when you were watching that, I slipped, poop eater. You just went like this. When you were watching that, and I'm watching you like hear about like the worst men ever, I'm like, Julian's pretty good.
Yeah, you are really good.
But I
wouldn't have married you if you weren't great.
But you, I'm happy to marry low. But when you texted me the other day, because you had asked me to put the dishwasher, something came with dishwasher, the big bowl up top because you couldn't reach.
Yeah.
And I forgot. And you texted
forgot
me.
Twice.
You forgot. No, but the second time, the lettuce one, that was because it was still wet. It was still drying.
Oh no! This is twice. So I had asked you and you hadn't, and then I asked you again, and then you didn't do it again, and then I texted you.
The point I'm making is
you're a monster. Agreed.
Compared to these Man of the Year people, okay, I think pretty good.
Oh, I'm gonna put that text thread right into the the algorithm.
Robin, this isn't the same thing. You're like, can you believe it? My cock husband.
Well, and one of the reasons why I went so deep into it was because I came across it and it was like, this is an example of like why Gen Z people are not fucking. Like Gen Z women aren't dating, Gen Z people aren't fucking, and I'm like, what is wrong with Gen Z men? And it occurred to me that some of these people, if you're like, actually I don't even know if 18 is Gen Z, but some of these people like literally they were the ones that we were reading about who were like the teens who are like listening to Andrew Tate. And now they are now in college and like early adulthood, and they are whatever caused them to connect with Andrew Tate has not been like exercised. Like I don't know why somebody would listen to Andrew Tate and be like, oh yeah, like women suck and I should be in charge of women and women owe me sex. Like I just don't understand.
Oh, well, the reason is simple. Is that they're young and they're lonely and they're insecure, and then because when you're young and you want to get a girlfriend and you don't know how to do that, and then you and if you feel anxious because you feel all this pressure to do it and you have to make the move and you don't know how to do it and it's very scary and then you get rejected and you're upset, and then there are a couple of routes you can go. You can like keep trying to be a good person and then you maybe you get a girlfriend and then you realize women are people, and then from there you can hopefully have nice relationships. But the longer you go as a young man or like teen, people go down that rabbit hole of anger, and instead of like I'm mad at girls for not wanting me. I hate them. I hate the guys who have the girls hate them. And like that. But what I'm saying is they have that rage and the anger that they don't have what they want, and then wherever they channel that in a good or bad way.
And then once they start actually getting women and they get a girlfriend, they just treat them like shit. It doesn't.
Well, that's
make
the
a lot
part
of
that's
sense
crazy
to
where
me.
like they really. You see these things online where the guy has a girl, like there'll be some Am I the Arsehole where like he gets a date with a girl and on the date he's like, you probably don't even want a guy like me because I'm this and that. It's like you're on the date.
You're
bro.
on the date.
Like you're okay, and like so, and that again comes from insecurity. But yeah, so that's why they find Tate, and I think it's interesting that it's funny because I'm not contradicting myself because we were watching one of the reality show dating things. I can't remember which one it was. It might have been The Ultimatum, and there were Gen Z men in it, and they were no, you know what it was? It was Love Island, and it was a guy that you're in love with.
Because I like on Love Island, which is obviously a perfect example of real life dating. Yeah. Like I've been very impressed by the Gen Z men on Love Island. Like they just seem to be so much more versed in like, and maybe they're just good at talking about it. But there have been not all of them, but have been a number of them who are just really, really well versed in talking about their feelings, and instead of like when there's a fight, being like, okay, well we got to talk about this. We're not going to just go to our separate corners and talk shit about each other, and just like having these very healthy boundaries as well.
Which, by the way, is not good TV. Not good TV when like, hey, we actually just spoke about that misunderstanding, and it turns out we're great.
Well, the way they managed to make that fine is they just have super toxic women.
they super do. I've loved watching the women get called out. Everyone been like, I think this woman might be wrong.
She might be wrong, and not all of the women, but like there's just they do have like these weird. I've just been surprised by and pleasantly so by the Gen Z men, but maybe they also are these are just people who are more well versed in media.
But I think maybe, but maybe what's happening is just the same thing's happening in politics, like just the left going further left, the right going further right, in the sense that like some men go down the path, we talk about therapy more, they become these guys, it's Austin, right? Is that the guy's name? Oh, more like Austin, where they go...
Love Island, Australia.
Yeah, when they go to, you know he died?
I'm sure he didn't.
Okay,
I feel like I would have gotten a call about that.
Yeah, I thought you were going to burst into tears. No, so like maybe some of the Gen Z men are going that way where they're learning that therapy talk, and then the other ones who are angry are just going further down that rabbit hole of Andrew Tateism, and yeah, that is not ideal. We really thought Gen Z men were going to save us for a little bit.
Yeah,
and then they didn't.
And then now this, but. I mean, it could also be that they're just more lonely because like they do seem to be more of an awkward.
The Gen Z stare, yeah, like which we spoke about last.
They do seem to be more awkward. I'm like, I always try to be friends with the interns and the paralegals, and at first I was like, oh, I'm just old. I'm like clearly on the out group, and I am like I am much older than them, but. It's like a different level of like just an inability to have like small talk, I guess, which is it's fine. I don't hate them as a generation for that, but it does. I could imagine
it can slow down the process of getting my bagel. It can really put
or just like make it worse. But it also I just think it would make it more difficult to like meet someone new.
Yeah, probably.
Which definitely limits how many people are in your dating pool.
But there's even little things. Even if you play online games, when I used to play video games when I was younger, and we actually played Nintendo at this thing, but it was an old Nintendo, so we all sat in the same room and played. Now I guess most of them would play virtually, as in they'd meet up in an online capacity and not actually be in the same room. But someone did tell me, one of my teacher friends was saying that the students are more awkward socially in some ways, but they're constantly on their phones, and I'm not saying that like grandpa, like they're on their phones, but they're on their phones because they're in like 8 different group chats with like they have like a multiple interesting sort of diverse digital life.
They do have a social life. It's just not the way that we I guess we have social lives kind of like that. Like we've dipped a toe in it at least.
But also, it's like one of those like you can have a friendship like that, you can do that, but you can't really date that way. You do at a certain point after to meet in person. Okay, so...
I see you have cuck written down on your paper.
No, this is actually a Rorschach test. It's kind of weird. You see anything else in there, you weirdo? Oh my God, it's Julian leaving a cup out. Oh, no, I'm kidding. And it did say cuck. I was going to say what we were talking about before. Cuck is a great word.
Oh, okay? It is a great word.
And I like that we can still say it.
Yeah.
And I wonder if it will be taken away from us at some point, because it is technically, they're not a protected class necessarily.
Yeah, no, they're not.
And I do joke that it's also like you
don't
can't,
kink shame.
Yeah, but it's also, but I mean, don't shame the cuck, they'll come. You know, it's like, I don't understand how that works. No, I'm kidding. That's not quite what cucking is. But I can fuck his wife in front of him, but I can't.
The shame, I only know one cuck very well, or like somewhat well.
It's not me, by the way.
I just recently saw him right here at this podcast. No, just kidding. I recently saw him. So I was having just like a shit week, and my wonderful husband, we had seen some of my friends over the weekend, and he was like, you know. It's really nice when you see your friends. You can see that it like makes you feel happier. And that really annoyed the hell out of me. But I do think you're not wrong. And so anyway, this person who I used to date and we haven't dated in forever reached out to me and was like, "Hey, you want to hang out?" I'm like, "Yeah, but I don't want to fuck. I have like zero interest in that." But it might be nice just to catch up because he was always we just got along really well when we did date. And when we did date, he had not told me that he was into getting cucked, that he like wanted to suck men's dicks. He did not tell me this.
By the way, I should say those are very different kinks.
Yeah, no, you're right. You
were like cocking, as we all know, sucking a man's penis.
Yeah,
and I was like,
so he's into both. But I should have been like at least clued in that he was like pretty kinky because he did ask me to pee on him in a public place once. It was a beach, so I guess that's like.
Was he stung by a jellyfish? Or?
No, and yeah, it's not that risky to pee on somebody in the beach in the water, like when you're like waist deep in the water, but it's not really peeing on somebody. No, I was like, I tried because I really did have to pee, and I didn't want to walk all the way to the where the porta potties were and then use the porta potties. So I was like, okay, I'll try, but I just couldn't. I don't like peeing in water ever. Like I don't pee in pools. I don't pee in the ocean. You usually just
poop in the pool, right? You can poop, no problem.
That's such a waste of poop.
You know what? If you couldn't,
I know. I just poop right into the saran wrap and then I put it in your little lunch. That's what I do. So I went over to this guy's house. I was like, I'm gonna hang out with him because my husband says I should hang out with people more. And I'm like, oh, go hang out with people more.
I was gonna lean into that thing with the argument. You're very self-aware, which I appreciated. I love you, like a wife. You said to me, I was trying to be so nice, and you've obviously been down lately for fair reasons. And when you see your friends, you really come in, obviously. And I was like, oh, Robin, I want to, whatever you can do, like, you're so great. And I think I said it like once or twice. And the first time I got almost no response. I was like, she didn't hear me. I said it again, and Robin's like, yeah. Uh-huh. And I was like, all right, that's kind of weird. I thought she'd be, excited about me, caring about her mental health. And then later on, you were just like, I know you're trying to be nice, and it is. But it made me so angry when you told me that you liked when I hung out with my friends and had a good time. And as you were saying it, you were self-aware. You were like, I know I'm being ridiculous.
I know, yeah. I know that it sounds insane, but I think it's just like the feeling of somebody being like, oh, I know what's good for you. Yeah. And I'm like, I know what's good for me. It's seeing nobody and sitting at home with the cats and being very angry.
The cure for depression is loneliness. Sleeping in late, not doing exercise.
Just stay in bed, no showers. I know the way. No, yeah, there's no rhyme or reason about it. It's just my own stupid
lizard brain. You're talking about your
my lizard brain that just does not like getting advice.
Yeah,
well,
it's funny because
who the fuck do you think you are?
It is funny because the flip of that is you've told me before that, like, especially in terms of kinky things, but also just in terms of life, you're like the idea that I would whisk you away to Vegas and take care of everything, and that you could just turn your brain off.
Oh, well, that's not you taking care of everything, though. That's not you taking care of anything. It's just you going, that was good. Good job. That was a good thing for you to do. You've been doing some, let's say, not so great things for yourself lately, but this one was good.
A couple of things. Number one, it's the same. Don't put that smile away. Don't you smile at the camera. I'm going to edit that out. You get that shitty eating grin. By the way, it used to just be called a grin until Robin started doing it, okay? No, but you... It's the same vibe of me trying to know, like, take care or know something for you. Even if I didn't do it, it's the idea that, because even with the idea of I wish you were to Vegas, it's like, I know what you want and I'm going to handle everything. In this case, it's like, I know what's good for you and I'm going to let you handle it. Anyway, you didn't like it and that was fine.
Yeah, I don't know why I didn't like it. I know that it's like, it's such a sweet thing. Because there are so many people who don't like it when their partners hang out with their friends. It's like good and sweet and right. I hated it.
Anyway, the point is, as such, you went and saw...
So I was like, yeah, I'm going to go see... I got an invite to go hang out with this person who I've had, when I hung out with him before, was like a very easy hang. He's a very simple, easy hang. And
when he's not pulling your eyes.
Yeah. And I realized... So he's the one cuck that I know. We were talking about the shame. And he genuinely, I think he really... The thing that he gets off on the most is the shame. So I was saying, I forget how it even came up, but I'm like, would you, like, if somebody just farted on you, like, would you be
Robin's like asking for a friend.
Would you be turned off? Like, they just like farted on you, and he's like, no, like that'd be great. I don't care. Like, and I was like, would you be turned on? He's like, no, but like it wouldn't turn me off, like at all. And I'm like, what if they did it on purpose? And he's like, is it like mean? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, well, I kind of like the idea of you being like mean to me. And I'm like, oh, it's so weird. Like, so if I accidentally farted on you, you'd just be like, yeah, game on. But if I did it on purpose, you would be like turned on. It's just strange. I don't know. So there's some reason we were talking about shame and cucks.
Yeah, because I said the idea of the word cuck is coming back.
Oh yeah, and you don't want to kink shame, but actually they would like that.
Yeah.
Because, and it's all about the shame. And
what is it? You can't kink shame a cuck because they will come.
Yeah. Exactly. And there was like a one time when we were actually dating, like very early on, we had a situation where the condom fell off, and I thought he had pulled it off.
So
but
maybe the sketch, the front fell off.
Yeah.
The condom fell off. Well, not all penises.
Yeah. So it was just he had gotten soft and then gotten hard again, and it had come off, and I thought he had pulled it off, and I've never done this before or since, but I just reeled up and smacked him. Like, Open hand, smacked him in the face. And he had like given me a shirt before, like at that time, and I was like, I'm still taking this fucking shirt. I like put on my clothes, I stomped out, I took a shirt, I probably took something out of the fridge, and I left like so mad. And he told me, he's like, I still think that's hot. Like, I still think about that time. I was like, that was one of the angriest I've ever been at another human being. And like he had to then like for him. He had to have the, like, I had to explain, like, because when he texted me again, I'm like, no, I'm mad. And then he's like, oh, no, that was on accident. Like, I got soft and, like, and then it got hard again. It must have, like, slipped off. I did not pull it. Like, we had to have, like, a conversation. And I do now currently believe him. And like after, and
he doesn't seem like a liar. He seems like
no. He's a very also like that's just not his style. Like it's like that's not something he's like getting off on. We have since had after that had hooked up again, and that never. There was I just believe him, and things happen, and he is my age, so there is also, and I also did feel that he did get soft, and then he did get hard again, and that could happen, so. Also, the condom was inside me, so I did. So yeah, he couldn't have pulled it off.
Why do you want to be the villain of this podcast? Hold on. This story started with you being like, so my husband said I should hang out with my friends. I snapped at him. A man lost a condom inside me. And I assumed he took it off and then strategically somehow placed it inside me after the fact, as you can all imagine. What else? What else do you have there? Where were you on 9/11?
Oh my God! So I am generally when I wouldn't call myself like a nice person, but I do think that me on the podcast, this is like the pokiest part of my personality.
Which is what? So I have to make sure.
What do you mean? What is the pokiest part of my like this? I think I am the most pointed in this podcast. Like I usually have strong opinions, but this is like the place where I would just openly say them, feeling like I shouldn't have any sort of consequences of my thoughts and actions and words.
I don't think I've ever seen you withdrain yourself at all.
Do you think this is not the like? Am I the same amount of villain in and out of the pod?
No, you're more of a villain in the pod. You're probably more, but you say it in a fun way. It's not actual villainy that I know of. No, it's I think you are a nice person. Okay, I think you look after many cats.
I try to be a nice person. I know that I'm not always the nicest person, but
people like you.
Yeah,
people love you. People love you more. My friends meet you. Even when this weekend away, I was explaining some of the stuff you'd done to one of the girls who was there, and she was like, "I want to meet your wife."
You're like, listen, she did vandalism, and she looked up Sydney Sweeney's voting registration.
And those are the two things. And she goes, "I want to meet her."
She's like, "What a nice person."
By the way, Sydney Sweeney, I was gonna talk to you about the idea of what if the things that you wouldn't let me date someone because of.
Zionist.
I know that's the big one, but the other one is now I can't fuck Sydney Sweeney anymore.
Yeah, to register as a Republican in the year of our Lord 2024 in Florida of all places is just after having like a kind of like MAGA moment where you then kind of were like you sidestepped that question. Yeah, Sydney Sweeney can die. I think she also this is happening right after we're recording this right after her American Eagle ad, which. Yeah. What's crazy to me is they hired a PR company and they came out and said, "This is just about the jeans. It's her story, her jeans." It was
I haven't looked at that yet. I want to
jeans,
confirm that because if that's true, I just can't even believe that's true.
That is true
because it's like. It's a pun. You did a pun.
Yeah, you did the pun. The pun was.
Listen, we've all made a pun that was embarrassing. No one laughs, and we wish we can be like, oh, I didn't.
You're like,
I didn't mean that.
That was literally the double entendre. And I think also like what's most disturbing to me is just that Sydney Sweeney and American Eagle have both. These are both people who care deeply about money and about attention and about. I would say probably about positive attention. Like I'm sure there are a lot of people who don't care if they get negative attention, but if you're selling a product and you're an upcoming starlet, I think you would mostly want positive attention. And they looked at this and they said, I think we'll get more net positive out of doing this racist dog whistle than not. And they went forward with it. And I mean, I don't know how it'll shake out. I hope that both of them take a huge tank.
Well, we'll see. But it is more and more. This is the year of the No More Pride logos in tech. So it's like, I mean, people aren't losing for it. Although on the topic of just dog whistles and stuff, So we're at the bar last night. They turned into a karaoke bar. It's a really fun vibe. It's full of people who are basically from New York who are just there for the weekend. And there were like 2 bachelor parties and a bachelorette party.
Oh, fun.
One of the bachelor parties was an a cappella group, and the vibe was just so fun. It was a great time. On the flag is the black U.S. flag, like distressed. Try that in a small town, and it's massive. It's taken up like half the bar. I was like, what the fuck?
What the fuck?
And then, then I was talking to these girls who I guess were local, and I just wanted to literally get a vibe for like what their thing was, and I was like, I think one of my friends was hitting on him. I was trying to wingman, and I go, so I'm from Australia. I don't understand. What does that flag mean? I point, trying to small town, and the correct answer is like it's a fucking horse shit, bullshit thing. And then she didn't like necessarily say it was good, but she's like, it's just like kind of a Republican thing. It's just this or that. And I was like, okay. And I was like, all right, see ya.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, that was getting off topic. I got another thing I wanted to bring up. Oh, we can keep going on that if you want.
No, I'm trying to think if there's other things. Like, I guess anybody who is like, I really want to have a baby. It doesn't really matter.
You don't want me to get trapped.
Yeah. Well, I think anybody. Well, I have been on record saying my favorite way to have a baby would be for you to just have a baby with somebody else. If you had wanted a baby, my most favorite way to have a baby would just be to adopt. But if it was very important to you to have a baby, I don't think, and I'm pretty sure I wouldn't mind if you and another person decided to make a baby together.
You told me that, but a couple of things. But to tell people that, they think it's crazy. But then I'm like, well, Robin's like the other
I'm like,
joke.
what? I get to automatically be like a non-parent. Like, fuck yeah.
The other thing I find so funny, well, no, I think also you don't have to
like
give birth,
a
which is good.
parent,
and then, whatever it is. The thing that's so funny is imagine comedy takes off and I get famous, right? And some woman intentionally traps me with the pregnancy, right? Like trick, whatever. And then she calls me, she's like, listen, I got this baby, and if you don't give me $1 million, I'll have an abortion. And I go, you're pregnant? That's fantastic news. Me and my wife want a baby. You'll do the surrogacy? She's like, what?
You're like, what?
I'm like, no, this is great. I was just...
to be clear, I wouldn't then want to be the mother. I would want to be maybe on weekends. I don't know. Like, I feel like...
Well, this is a conversation to have privately outside of the pod.
I prefer, I don't think I would want them to just give us that baby. I would like to have part-time.
Okay, well, the good news
baby.
is this is a hypothetical scenario right now because 1, I'm not famous, and 2, you don't know about any of the women I've gotten pregnant.
That's true. But I would just be put off by somebody who you're like, I started dating this girl, but like she just keeps talking about like she really wants to get pregnant, and I like to me that would just be like, oh, like and she doesn't quite know you yet, like. To me, that would just be like, that would be very weird vibes to me.
Well, my whole point of it weird is like, it's going to lead to something bad. I told you I was dating that girl, and she clearly wanted kids.
Yeah.
And then she also told me that her kink was to have sex without condoms, and her birth control.
She had a breeding kink, yeah.
Yeah, and her birth control was not birth control. She had no birth control.
Yeah.
She would just count her cycles, which is I don't believe is birth control medically speaking. People can do it, and maybe it works for some, but it's not. I wouldn't trust it. And then she was like, I want you to finish in me and do this. And what's annoying is she didn't really admit it. I was like, listen, you want kids. I basically kind of said, I feel like I'm getting trapped here. She was very offended. She's like, how dare you? She was pregnant maybe 4 months later with another guy who she's now married to, who she just met. So it's like, okay, you did. You just wanted a family.
Kids, yeah.
You were at that age where I think she was a bit older than me, and she was like, I could tell this was the time when she wanted to do it. And then just not admitting it. And like, what are you going to, like the idea of like trapping someone is...
I mean, she might not have even thought of it as necessary. She might not have thought of it in that way, but yeah, to me that would be, I don't know. Is there something that you would, for me, we would be like, no, you can't.
Well, because we're initially talking about the idea of like political things, but I mean, less about that. I don't know. There's no one taller than me. That's obviously that you can take that right off the table. Okay, 6'5" not enough. 6'5" not enough. Oh, you got
greedy.
I'll have a think. I don't know if there's anything specific.
I will say it's very unlikely, not just from a numbers perspective, that I would date somebody taller than you, but to me, you are borderline freak. So it's like there's a borderline between like, oh, that's like he's tall, he's hot, to being like he's too tall.
There is definitely that limit, and like basketball is when I get to be like 6'10", 6'11", especially. That's when it's well over it. Well, some just look proportionally wrong, but others are proportionally still normal. Like I think Dwight Howard always looked proportionally normal, but he's just huge.
But even if you look proportionally normal, when I see you next to me, a 6 foot tall woman, it's gotta look natural. Right?
Almost gotcha.
No, you didn't, because I am 6 feet tall.
Okay, so all right.
You know it, I know it. the listeners know it.
The good people, the listeners know that you. This is another villainous podcast from Robin, the Grinch Richardson.
Robin, the 6-foot-tall woman Richardson.
Robin,
that's what people call me.
They do call you that.
Yeah, they do.
That's a common thing. They call you that when you pay them to call you that. No. Okay, I'll have a think about what anything would really bother me. The things that would make me insecure is you being with a really rich guy. Just because I'm like, I am not one of those. However, if it was chill and I got stuff, that would maybe be cool a little bit also. Maybe I also get to go on the boat, you know? And he's like, oh, you like getting cucked? I was like, no, I like snorkeling, actually. That's what I'm into. So you can have sex. I won't watch.
Have fun.
Yeah. Oh, man, you got a jet ski? Oh, fuck yeah. I'm going to head out. Have fun with my wife. Woo! Who's on a jet ski? I am.
Yeah, that could be fun.
Yeah, where's your husband? He's doing donuts out there.
Donuts on the jet ski.
Yeah. Oh, he fell again. Okay, get the guy. we need to get the net. He's loose. No, Rich, I think you'd mentioned being more insecure about it for someone really young.
Yeah, no, it does make me insecure. I've become less insecure about that, but I know when we first started dating, that was something that really just worried me. And I think a lot of my insecurities have diminished significally since we got married. And I think that's mostly a good thing. But
marriage helps.
Yeah, marriage. No, but but there is also some utility to being I never want to be at the point where I'm just like, oh, I don't even care who he dates. I don't care how into where he is. I don't care.
No, you're right. But it's such a difficult balance when I talk to people about it. They're like, do you not care about it? I'm like, well, no. I'm glad you picked that up. No, it's like,
come to think of it,
you'd be like, no. It's like we care, and you're right. You don't want to. If you have no anxiety about it, whatever, and no jealousy, I think that. I mean. Everyone's different, and maybe that means they're just super evolved, but I think it would be somewhat concerning if I suddenly didn't care at all.
At all, yeah.
And I was like, I don't care if she's fucking dead. And it's like, all right, well,
that's...
Our relationship is built on communication.
And I don't care if she's dead.
And I tell her. I tell her right to her face. You could be dead. I don't... You're like, hey, I'm going on a date tonight. I'm like, you could be dead.
I'm sure there are things that I'd be like, no, that's just really... But I would be very put off by somebody who is like a Trump voter and who right now is still like into Trump. But somebody who voted for Trump, I'd be like really icked out by, and I would just be like, what do you have in common with this person?
Well, the other thing is, I mean, you, like many women, have this affliction where you kind of want to have sex with people you respect. Mm-hmm. I don't have that burden. I really don't. And I'm going to be honest, if it happens, I'm still going to fuck Sydney Sweeney. I'm kidding. I probably won't.
No, fair enough. If it happens, you should, and you should try to get her to help your career in some way.
But to be clear, anyone you didn't want me to do, I obviously wouldn't. But I'm saying it wouldn't bother me. Mm-hmm. And I'm very happy to give her bad penis.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm going to give her that 45-cent dick.
That 45-cent dick. Okay. She wants to be Republican, she gets Republican penis.
She
okay.
Sure does. Oh God, yeah.
And that is penis that does not care if you come.
Yeah. Bam, no thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, that is penis. That is Ben Shapiro penis that doesn't believe women.
They don't get wet. Ick.
Yeah. Ick.
You're telling me women get wet?
Next thing you tell me, men get hard. Okay. So that wouldn't bother me as much. I'm very fine with that. I'm trying to think. The stuff that would bother me is like maybe annoying things. But really, if they were super hot and I was really interested, I would debase myself.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you are somebody who had sex with a woman who thought she was good at ping pong, and she was terrible.
Well, that's not the bad part. The part is that I let her get a set off me.
Oh, yeah. You worked so hard for her to be able to win.
I did.
And then you still...
And I could have beat a 21-0, 21-0, 21-0, which would have been absolutely glorious. I would have been in the Hall of Fame for destroying women's dreams. Okay, well, speaking of that date, do you have an idea? And this is up top of your head. In the future, we're going to prepare these things. It's going to be great. What would your perfect date versus your nightmare date? And keep in mind, nightmare date is, oh my gosh, your planet. You can't be like, I'm getting stabbed. It's like got to be something that someone else might traditionally like on a date. You know what I mean?
Perfect first date.
Perfect first date.
Perfect first date. We meet at a bar that has like a nice vibe. Like either we're outside on a rooftop and it's like the...
So it's not a dive bar?
Not a dive bar. I want to sit down. I want to have a really nice cocktail.
Okay.
I want to have access to top shelf liquor. I don't drink top shelf liquor, but
That's the vibe.
Yeah, I don't want it. I want it to be...
You see one of those tequilas that is the white and blue penis.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
The tequila bottle That's the Dos Amigos or something like that. The one that's like $500.
But it's not a penis. It's just long. Is that what you're saying?
I don't know if that implies my penis is not long. Is that?
No, I'm saying it, but it's like phallic.
Yeah. But whatever it is.
Phallic in shape. You're saying it's. I thought you were saying it. There is a white and blue penis bottle that you can pour tequila out of, and I did not know what you're talking about.
And it's just because I was like, so a nice place that has one of those penises.
Yeah, one of those penis places. Yeah, no, I want to have like a nice vibe that feels relaxed, that feels spread out. I don't want to feel like cramped into people because I want to have a conversation and not feel like people are like listening to the conversation. But where we're able to, where like a small table, so you have to sit close, but the tables aren't on top of each other.
Gotcha.
And it's either like a well-lit inside bar, or it's like a nice breezy day and you're out in the shade and outdoors, like something nice. Let's see, I am wearing something that's cute and comfortable, so like not like super dressed up, so it shouldn't be like a really fancy place. I'm wearing sneakers and like flats.
I planned the perfect date in this hypothetical, and you wearing sneakers. It's fine.
And then it's going well, so we go to but we're hungry, so we go to like a very casual like place and get like fries or something like a
sit down.
Not like it could even be like a counter service place. That's what I'm thinking. That's like a little. Now we go from really nice to then it's like kind of a little bit crowded and you're stuck together and it's a fun vibe. Like it's just a very new vibe. And we get something like fries or.
Do you mean like what's that chicken place? Blue Ribbon.
No, Blue Ribbon is fancy. Oh, that I see what you're talking about. No, I'm thinking more like. Have you been to Griff Dogs? Or Griff Dogs.
No.
There's like it's just like a small shop where you could stand and eat, and there are like people coming in and out, and it feels young and feels.
So is it like the sandwich place that we go to? I went and got that disgusting. I really liked it. But you said it was the garlic bread with the meatballs.
Yeah, something like that.
Gotcha,
but like that's kind of busy and like happening. Like now we can be somewhere kind of crowded because we've gotten to know each other. We've already had conversation, and now we're having fun and like.
And you're like, oh, what do you want? And oh, this guy bumped me, and we're having a good.
Yeah. And we have yet another reason to be like being close to each other.
Cool.
But more forced, I guess, because it's a smaller space.
Cool.
And then we eat, but we don't get super full, and we go to. If he has a very nice apartment, we go to his. If he does not, we go to mine. And then we wash our genitals and we have sex.
Okay.
Yeah?
You're very funny. Wash our genitals and have sex. Title of my sex site. Title of your biography, probably. And then what happened? Your Honor, then I washed my genitals and we had sex.
And then we have a little bit of a conversation afterwards. Maybe offer like a drink or a snack. And then if I'm at his, he offers to give me an Uber, but I say no because I get car sick. And he doesn't live too far away from me anyway, and it's not too late. I don't want to be up until 3 a.m. And if it's at mine, then he leaves, and then I get a text later on that day or the next morning saying I had a really great time and trying to set up the next date.
Okay. I'm not doing any of that.
What about you? What's your ideal first date?
First of all, 2 things. Number 1, when do you kiss?
We kiss at the first place or on the way from the first place to the second place. Before we get to before we start eating, we kiss.
Okay, that's important because you don't want to. There's so many things girls are thinking about with kissing, and it's like, well, I just did this, and I don't even know about. Okay, so the food is relevant. Okay, that's good. I as you were talking, well, we'll do a nightmare date in a second. I don't even know what my perfect date is, and this is the problem. Is like maybe it's a incorrect way that I'm looking at dating. So much of my thing now is like I'm trying to meet someone that I can maybe have a casual, consistent meet up with, and it's less about like, oh, this date is going to be so incredibly fun, because like if I like the funnest thing I can imagine doing, I'd probably want to do with you or with guy friends. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? No, I'm thinking like a good first date is, it's not going to be the most fun thing, but it's like it's conducive to being sexy and getting to know somebody. I mean, a really nice first date I had one time was the one where I got kicked out afterwards, where we just watched baseball at
At
her
hers.
apartment, and it was like floaty and fun, and kind of to the point. But and then we hung out for a bit first, and then did it. That's one end of the spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
The other end is like you go and I like an activity. That would be something fun. But I guess ultimately, what I don't want to do is my classic where I end up doing like 5 things and it's like 10 hours long.
Yeah, no, that's no good. And then so a nightmare date for me. One version of this nightmare date is just we go get barbecue because that's maybe my favorite kind of food. It's maybe my favorite kind of food.
This is the nightmare for who? The toilet bowl. That's who.
Yeah, and I'm like, what am I like? The nightmare is just sitting there going like, oh fuck, like, am I gonna be able to? How many ribs can I eat before I cannot fuck this man? We talking a rack? We talking a half rack?
Yeah.
If I get a full rack, there's no way I'm also going to be doing mac and cheese and deviled eggs and the cornbread because that's all really important stuff. And then what if he's like, oh yeah, we should
Should we get barbecue tonight?
You know what would be really irritating to me if he was like, oh yeah, I'm going to get the chicken wings, and I'd be like, what are you doing? What are we doing here? And then if he's like, try one of these wings, and I have to like politely make space in my limited stomach to eat his boring wings.
Do you know the way you usually make space in your stomach historically that I've seen?
The way that I've done it?
Is you vomit on the train.
Yeah, well, that's
After barbecue that one time.
Yeah, that happened that one time. But in my defense, that guy vomited first. And that made me vomit.
If anyone's listening, Robin one time ate so many ribs and at a barbecue place for my brother's birthday. And then you got sick, you went home on the train, someone else vomited, and then as soon as Robin saw them vomit, she vomited. So this train is just instant calamity. In fairness, she didn't vomit on the train, she vomited out of the train onto the platform into, I believe, a young mother's arms. Is that right? No.
I vomited onto the side of the train. He and I were vomiting together. I did feel sick before I saw him vomit, but I think I could have made it home without that enticement.
And while when we got barbecue that time, the guy said, do you want another round? And he meant drinks. And Robin goes, yeah, another round of ribs. And he was like, what? It's like, yeah, give us...
I'm not the first person who ever asked that man for a second round of ribs.
No, but it's not that. It's the fact that you were so rib-focused that you immediately interpreted his obvious hint for drinks. You thought he was coming in to be like, you guys want a round of ribs? They don't do that.
We were in a smoked meat palace. You think I'm not going to order a second round of ribs? You're insane.
Okay, well, you threw up on the train. So I think that kind of nullifies...
I feel like there's nothing really wrong with that.
Okay, so... Your nightmare date is just someone takes you to your favorite food and
I'm
you
like,
are stressed.
I'm sitting there stressed. Like, I'm just like.
Well, you've said historically you don't like dinner on a first date because or barbecue feels a little quicker for some reason, and it feels like.
No, barbecue's not quick.
You don't think so?
No, I feel like barbecue. Maybe I don't know. No, I just feel like.
Well, not the way I do it.
Yeah, not the way I do it. Not the way I do it. Yeah, It's also like very messy. It's like it's a messy food. It's not like a sexy food, and that's like. And afterwards, I want a nap. I don't want to have sex. I want to nap close to a toilet, in the privacy of my own home.
Toilet.
Yeah, exactly. So that would be one version of a nightmare date. Another version would just be like going out and they're like, we're going to go play a group sport or something. They're like, well, guess what? We're playing flag football. I'd be like, are you fucking kidding me? One time I was dating this guy, and the first time I met his family, he had like 75 siblings. They had so many fucking kids. And they were all like really sporty, and they all got together and like, they were like, let's play softball. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, this is like I do not understand this kind of family where they're just like, all right, you're on my team. We're gonna go play softball. Like,
Robin doesn't understand happiness.
It's baffling to me. I'm like, first of all, you can't even talk to each other when you're playing softball. I don't, and like most of us, like some of them were really good at softball, but like his mom was really bad, his dad was really bad, and I was like, I have zero interest in swinging a bat at a ball and then running.
Did you do it? This was a date.
Oh, I didn't play. I was like, I'm not playing.
So what?
It was just like we were going. It was like a family date, I guess. It was me and him, and we went to go meet his family for the first time. I was in law school.
Okay.
But I was like, I don't have any interest. Like, I'll just watch you guys play. That's great. I'll cheer. So yeah, nightmare date is some sort of group sport. Like specifically a group sport though, because it would be fun to like a game like, axe throwing, bowling, mini golf. That's like fine. But something that takes like actual athleticism, where like then you're like playing hard and like. Or like you're under pressure then they're like, oh, you got to catch this ball in front of my friends, these strangers or my family, or You know, there's just no, I don't want to do gym class. I don't know anybody that would do that. Doesn't sound like a real date now that I said that. Group sports.
Well, you had it with your family thing, but a first date, it would be super weird.
Yeah.
Okay, those make sense. Nightmare dates. I mean, I don't know if I've done my version. I think I just went from bar to bar to bar for and I wasn't enjoying myself, but I didn't know how to end it until 4 a.m. And then we either did or didn't have sex, or the sex was bad.
Yeah, that is a nightmare.
Yeah, it just keeps going and going. I think, but I'm kind of luckier from that sense, because for the most part, I'm expected to plan the date, which is annoying in its own right, but it does mean I don't theoretically get pushed into something like group sports.
Yeah, group sports.
I actually have a voucher for that interactive thing we did where it's like you're in a square room. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, and they have but they have projectors, and they have the things on your head, and then you do the games. Well, I got a date cancelled. This is a while ago. And now I have that just locked and loaded. If
I ever want to go play Squid Games with you.
Well, no, not Squid Games. One of the other games they offer.
Oh, interesting.
I feel like you're not interested.
We had a friend who took a girl on a nightmare date, and it was like a first date, and she showed up in a really nice white dress.
I don't know.
Her hair blown out, and then he was like, "Guess what? We're going on this speedboat ride."
We're going, and it was called something
Manhattan.
like the Splash
Zone.
Yeah,
the Splash Boat. And she just got soaked and was furious.
When he told us that, and he was like, "Yeah, he was explaining how he was annoyed."
I don't know why.
He was like
not such a bitch about it.
He goes, "I took her on this date, and she was really ungrateful." And then she was I looked at the text, she was upset, but he hadn't clocked why. And then and he's like, "Yeah, she didn't like the dinner I did, or this, and I think she didn't like the date, and she was very ungrateful." And we're all like, "Yeah, she's been a bitch." And then they're like, "So what was the date?" And he goes, "Well, they did the speedboating." And she's like, "Well, that sounds fun." It's like, "Wait, did she know?" And he goes, "No." And we go, "What was she wearing?" And he goes, "A floor-length dress." And we're like, "Oh." So she just, and then I was like, "Is this one of those speedboats where they put a poncho on you?" And he was like, "Yeah."
And then she had to go to dinner all wet with her hair all wet.
I mean, I might be getting some details wrong, but it was very funny.
Yeah, that would be.
He is a fantastic guy. When he was dating, he was like, he puts a lot of effort in, and he planned my bachelor party. I have no doubt he plans very fun dates, and I think he puts a lot of effort in that. I think this is one example where there's a disconnect with just the fact that she's wearing a nice dress.
With men and women in general, I have dated so many men who did not understand, just fundamentally did not understand that I am somebody who will never want to get my hair wet for fun, this is just a fun activity, but your hair is going to get wet. No, thank you. That's not.
I believe it was our fifth date, whatever it was, when we went to the beach.
Yeah.
And then I was joking around, I'll dunk you, and you said you're going to catch hands. Now I wasn't even familiar with that expression because rarely am I physically threatened by a woman I'm seeing.
I don't want to be splashed. I don't want to be pushed in. None of that shit. None of it. I don't want you to do a cannonball and then that cannonball splashes me. I don't like it.
I know, and you made that very clear. It was in our vows. You go, until death or a cannonball, Julian, does us part.
So yeah, I guess that would be a nightmare date. Maybe also, I recently took a friend to Coney Island, and I think that would be a bad date.
Yeah, well, because to your point about earlier, where you want to have a nice romantic thing, and then you get pushy. They're straight into so many inconvenient things that just suck. Mm-hmm. And I also think, you went to Coney Island recently. I think I went with you a while ago. They just, I don't know. There are fun things, but there's just you got to get little tickets and there are little kids running around. I find that stuff very annoying.
Yeah, and there's a lot of just navigating around, and I don't know. It is a cute place. Anybody who hasn't been to Coney Island, if you get a chance, you should absolutely go. It's very, very cute. It's like a theme park on the beach, and there's a boardwalk, and I think it's fun
with friends. I think if you're on a first date, and it'd be annoying.
My fear would just be that there were two people who had different fear levels, and I went on the Cyclone, which is it's the big a big wooden roller coaster, but it's not the scariest roller coaster in the world, and I was like, that's as scary as I need. I don't need any scarier than that. If you get somebody and they're like, yeah, let's go on the one that goes straight up and then straight down and then you go backwards, I'll be like, no, I don't. I'm an easy puke. Easy puke, this one. And I get motion sickness just being in a car. So like it's just not for me. And thankfully my friend who I went with was like also like, I'm so scared.
Robin,
I was like, we never have to do that again. Let's just do the go-karts until the very end. We'll spend all $200 on go-karts.
Did you say $200?
Yeah.
Okay, a couple of things. Go-karts. Number one. From now on, when we do the introductions, you're going to say, I'm Robin Richardson, lawyer, easy puke.
Easy puke.
Easy puke.
I'm an easy puke.
My Daisy Dukes and my easy pukes. That's what I am. And then secondly, $200. Just for some context, everybody. Can I talk about the legal? So Robin's job was maybe going to go on strike. I don't know. Is it officially off? Or?
We won't be striking.
But what that meant was, they had good reason to strike, but it would mean that would be a single income household for a little while until they sorted it out.
We were getting real tight with our money just in preparation.
Just to be clear, things we were cutting. Most of our streaming services stopped going out to eat. Things we weren't cutting. $200 of go-karting at Coney Island. Just, the essentials. Just the bare necessities, if you've heard that song.
Okay, well, I only spent 100 of those $200, okay?
Okay. No, but I'm glad you had fun with Hamza and his last thing. I think that was. I'm glad he enjoyed it, and he's getting married soon.
Yay!
I think that is probably a natural close to it.
Yes.
We had fun.
So much fun.
I had fun. And we'll see you next week.
Yeah. Oh, guys, if you're still listening, please like and subscribe, and I guess comment on our Instagram post because it helps.
Yes, absolutely.
It does help. It might sound stupid, and it is, but it does
even
help.
Small things. If you can donate just a single rib, a pork ideally.